Well, hello. I don't know about you, but we're in the final weeks of January and I'm having a hard time getting motivated. It seems that this second lockdown has had a little bit more of a profound effect, not just on myself, but on people that I've spoken with as well. And I'm just wondering if that's true for you. Getting to the end of this quadmester, if you're in high school, trying to get back to the class if you're a teacher or in elementary school and high school as well, just trying to make our way through winter as we come to the end of January. And being motivated under the best of conditions, we can sometimes struggle with. But when we're trying to stay motivated in a climate such as we find ourselves now, it can be a little bit more stressful, overwhelming. It's easier to stay stuck in a rut than it is to try and fight that inertia and be motivated to get some things done. But what I wanted to do this week, sort of as our midweek message of hope, is to encourage you to maybe not build motivation, but maintain your motivation. So let's not try for exponential growth so much as sustaining what we're capable of doing and looking for incremental progress. So some of you may have set up goals for 2021, and keeping your eye on those goals regularly can be important. And taking small steps every day to get you closer to your goals. So if it's a fitness goal, you can't go to the gym right now, but maybe you can go for a walk outside, or maybe you can watch a YouTube video on yoga or something that will get you closer to your goal, but may not be exactly what you had hoped it would be at this point in the year. Another thing that I use for motivation, and I think I've shared this with some of you already, is I set up an expectancy journal. So every night I record up to 3 things that I'm looking forward to doing tomorrow, the next day. It can be part of a to-do list, but it isn't always. Sometimes it's just a feeling, looking forward to, being content to be home, or looking forward to having the cat curl up on the sofa beside me while I have my morning coffee and just kind of feeling like I can get a good start to my day. So I would invite you to set up some sort of expectancy journal where you can start to build in the things that you're looking forward to. Because when we don't have anything to look forward to, it's really hard to get motivated. It's hard to get motivated to get out of bed. It's hard to get motivated to get dressed. It's hard to get motivated to take a shower, because what's the point? And for those of us that have a faith, we know that there's a point, that God has a purpose for our lives, and that there is a point to get up in the morning, and there is a point to go for that walk, and there is a point to get showered. But for those that don't have that foundational anchor, it can be very overwhelming when you don't have something to look forward to. I would also invite you to connect with people as regularly as you can. And I don't mean on Zoom and Microsoft Teams for the purposes of learning something or being in class or attending a meeting, but simply to reconnect. I had a visit with a friend of mine on Friday that I hadn't spoken to in person for almost a year. But we were able to connect and kind of see how each other was doing and what the last year has been like. And so connecting socially as opposed to just for a purpose that supports our education or our business can be super important as well. So, of course, there are many other ways to stay motivated. But for those of us, as I said, who have a faith base, take it to God in prayer and ask for that direction, ask for a sign to light your path, to remind you that there are good reasons for doing things, and that we're here for a greater good and we're here for a greater purpose, and to continue to anchor back into that life purpose. Even though we can kind of lose our way when things are difficult or challenging, when we know why we're here and what we're here to do, it can help us to stay the course and to not necessarily force massive activity, but to stay engaged and continue to take those small steps toward the outcomes that God has placed for us in our lives. I hope that this has been meaningful for you, and I hope that it does bring you some hope as you get through this week. And be blessed. stay motivated. One step forward is better than standing still, because standing still means you're losing ground because time continues to march forward. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next week.